Good morning and welcome to our beginner class. Today I thought I would try something a little different and use these resistance loops. Pretty common and cheap piece of exercise, so if you don't have one, easy to get. Not going to break the bank on it either, and then you can come back and enjoy this video if you're joining on YouTube and you don't have any yet. We're just going to do 3 groups of 3 exercises, 3 rounds, and it's going to be rep-based today. This won't be, the legs might be exerting, so round 1 might be exerting and round 2 might be exerting, but round 3 isn't so bad. But I wanted to give you some ideas on what you could do with these resistance bands, or these resistance loops, and ways how you can change exercises in that regard. I have a couple here. This yellow one's the lightest one, this red one's light, and this gray one is actually a little bit heavier. You don't need a lot of resistance with these exercises. Sometimes just a little bit of resistance or the tension in different directions can really change what muscles we're using or change how we're activating them. Well, let's start with our warm-up and just get some arm swings going. So we're going palm up, cross the body, going palm down as we cross the body, alternating which arm's on top. We'll go into some side leans, some alternating side leans, just to get a little bit more dynamic movement from the step. Again, it's not so much a side lunge as it is I'm just stepping to the side, shifting my hip, and feeling the stretch in my trail leg. We'll go into some little quarter squats here just to get the legs woken up because it's 7:30 in the morning. Probably haven't done too much activity yet. Put your arms back, crawling hands forward. Forward fold. Stand up, pulling back on the left fingers, arms overhead. Hips to the left, lean to the right. Hips to the right, lean to the left. I'm pulling back on those left fingers there that time. Here we go again. Stand up, we're going to pull back on the right fingers this time, and then same thing. Okay, then we're going to do some hinge tees. A hinge at the hips, and then make a T with our arms. Stand up, and we'll do an anterior lateral raise. So I'm going to go anterior, lateral, down, and then lateral up, anterior, lower. Tiny marches here. Excellent. All right. Let's do this so I can see the comments. So if you have comments, go ahead and say hello. All right. So for our first round, you're going to want to use your heavier resistance band. And we want to get it above the knees, but you can have it below the knees as well. Why I like to get it above the knees is it provides a little bit more resistance into activating the glute med or the side. of the butt. The other thing is if you're wearing longer shorts, it'll sort of prevent you, if you got hairy legs like me, it'll prevent you from getting any hair torn off. It doesn't happen. That won't happen if you make sure that your loop is nice and straight with no twist in it. Our first exercise, what we're going to do is we're just going to widen our squat stance to a little wider than hip width apart, toes pointed out as usual. And we're going to squat as normal, making sure that the knees don't collapse. So I want you to focus on what the band wants you to do is the band wants you to do that. Keep that band pushed out, all right? So we're going to do 10. Chest stays lifted, nice natural pace. Deep as you can without losing form. If you need a chair or something to assist you, you can go ahead. Really feel how that's activating the glutes there, keeping that band taut and your knees not collapsing. I think we got 2 more here. Okay, then we're going to go into our lateral steps. So we're just going to get into an athletic position. We're going to do 6 each direction, ends up being 12. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. This is all right. Our reverse crunch, it can just stay there. But we're going to be on the ground. Again, we're going to focus on having the feet about hip width apart so that the band stays taut. And then we're just going to lift up our knees towards our chest, touching our heels down. If you want to make this harder, you just get your heels out a little further, right? All right. That is round 1. You can grab some water if you would like. Just be careful getting up. A little bit of a break. And we're just going to go right through this again. I'll show you what it looks like from the front on the squats. 10 squats. Three more. Chest stays lifted. And we go to our lateral steps, and I'll show you what it looks like from the side. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nice and soft with feet here. And 12 nervous crunches. Careful transitioning from ground or from standing to ground and vice versa, of course. Then we have 10 reverse crunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So get up, make sure you don't snap your band. Take a few seconds here, catch your breath, and we're going into our squats. So again, squat, hinge the hips, bend the knees, chest stays lifted. Make sure that we're not collapsing, letting our knees come in. These are great to do, like with the band, if you find that you only feel the squat in like your quads. We go to our lateral steps. This is like the burnout exercise to make sure 6 that your glutes are sufficiently tired. 11, and 12, and then we're going to go into a reverse crunch. Last exercise for round 1. And then good. Okay, so we can take this off because we don't need it there anymore. We're grabbing one of the lighter ones for round 2. So we have our push-ups, our tricep kickbacks, and our shoulder press. So I'm not going to be using the lightest one for this. With our push-ups, all we're going to do is we're going to put it around our arm just before the elbow, and then we're going to get some tightness on it there. And again, you could be doing a full push-up or a modified push-up. Pull it down on me quite a bit, that's okay. And this is just it's not going to add too much to the push-up. The push-up's already hard already. But you can do modified, of course. I'm just going to show modified for the sake of this class. But we go down. That's curl up on me because that happens. That's okay. It's not the worst if it curls up on your arms. All the way down, all the way up. And this just ensures that we're using our chest, forcing our arms. All right, do these a little faster here. You don't need to punch myself. 8, 9, and 10. Good. So our tricep kickbacks, I'll show you 2 ways you can do them. I'm going to use the lightest one first. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have tension in my right hand. I have it in my left hand bent. And then I just extend my arm. Notice how the elbow is pinned, right? And then we just switch positions. Now my right arm is pinned, my left arm is the anchor, and then I just extend my left arm. Look how nice that looks with that elbow just pinned, right? Really using the tricep. Now shoulder press is the same thing. One arm's going to anchor, one arm's going to press. So I have my right arm bent and anchored around the center of my chest, and then I'm just pressing up. And you might want to use your lighter band, maybe not the lightest one here. I'm just using the lightest because it's light after the kickbacks and the push-ups. This is pretty difficult. Okay, we'll switch sides. And I'm just punching the sky here, my elbow's out. Elbow forward might be a little bit conducive to the anchor point and getting that delt involved. Perfect. I'll show you with the push-up. So I guess going for the wrist is probably a little better. I'm going to go incline here with the right band. Just go from the wrist. That'll still, essentially what we're trying to do is, the band is trying to collapse our elbows together, and by forcing our elbows out, we're required to use our chest more and pushing ourselves up. I know it's hard to see the band from there, but just keep it tight. And 10. Okay, the other way you can do the kickbacks is you can do a tricep extension instead. And all that's going to be is anchored behind the head. Maybe not so much behind the head. Go right in front of you. And just kick up instead. Elbow pointed forward. And the elbow's still fixed, right? Like, it's getting a little bit of movement there. But it's not really changing position. And we'll switch sides. Those are tough. Elbow fixed. Anchored down towards the center of the chest. And we're just straightening that arm. I prefer the kickbacks, but I know that's tough for some people. This is going to be really tough as we transition. I'm going to have to switch arms as we transition into that shoulder press. Feel how we're using all the same muscles here. Switch sides. We got one more round of this. And I'm going to do my push-ups from the incline. And again, just punch the sky on these. Get that anchored center of your body. I'm going to do my push-ups from incline. That's where it felt best for me in activating that chest. And then we go on to round 3, which is biceps and back. Or our pulling group. We had legs, we had push, and we had pull during this. Even with our push-up, we want to make sure we have good form, right? Like I'm staying in that nice straight line going through my full range of motion. Loop. But if you like these sort of classes where how I'm mixing things up with the equipment, I'm just anchoring this forward, kicking back. Let me know if you don't have the equipment and you don't want to buy the equipment and you hate it. Also let me know. Switch sides. I'm not really gripping this in my in the act hand right now. I just have it looped around my thumb. Do one more for good luck. Okay. Last but not least, our shoulder press. Good. Okay, round 3. We have our single arm row. So go ahead and grab either your light band or your medium one for this. I'm going to be all up here, so that's okay. I'm going to, almost like I'm drawing a bow here. We can get right into it. Holding in my right hand, my left hand's going to be the working hand. I'm just pulling back, and this is chest level. Switch sides, anchored. And again, my elbow's staying tight here, this way. Pull my elbow past my body. Good. Crossbody hammer curl. So what I'm going to do is I'm anchoring, my left hand's going to be my active hand. I'm anchoring the band at my right hip, and I'm coming cross body with my left hand with that hammer curl. Keeping it nice and close to my body. Elbow pinned. You know, that's your recurring theme. We switch sides. So now it's pinned to my left hip. And I come cross body to hammer curl. And this is what I call the big arm curl. Nothing puts mass on your arms like the crossbody hammer curl. Okay, so our high rows, I'm gonna go with the lighter weight, essentially because we're coming from up top. The up top is our anchor point, and we're pulling down. And we can actually probably go. We can stick with the medium. If you only have like a light one or one, that's fine. 5. We really want to make sure we're incorporating our lats here. Elbow comes nice and low and tight. Switch sides. And I try to return the band back to its position so that we're getting a full range of motion. Because with these bands, our range of motion is certainly going to be cut off. All right, single arm row, round 2. Just like we're drawing that bow back. Switch sides. You might have to switch to a lighter band just with, it's tiring anchoring yourself. Okay, then we're going to go cross body hammer curl. Sometimes, like you saw me adjust there, it's just finding that sweet spot where you can keep tension on for the, highest part or for the longest duration of the movement. Switch sides. This round's going to take a while. We're just crossing the halfway point because everything's unilateral, which means we're only working one side at a time. Good. And then our high rows. So with any resistance band exercise, resistance is greater at the end or end range of motion because it's an elastic, which means it has that logarithmic resistance. And with resistance loops, that's exaggerated because loops are so small. So it goes a lot of resistance here, not so much right there. But resistance jumps really quickly on a short band. All right, last round. You need a little bit of a break. Take about 10 seconds here, and then we'll get right into it. And we have our cool down, and we're done for the day. All right? Single arm row. And again, there's not a lot of rest in between these exercises because, while both sides are working because one's anchoring, we are mostly just working one side at a time. So your other side can rest. Make sure your shoulder height there was a little high. Glad to be done. Those are tough. Okay, cross body hammer curls. Then sides. Elbow stays pinned, as always. And last but not least, our high rows. So you really engage those lats. You need to flare out your elbow a little bit, but always return to center. Right here. You know, this isn't the greatest lat exercise. Like, it's not going to replace a lat pull down, but it does, or a chin up for that matter, but it does provide some resistance to the lats, which is hard to get with body weight. And okay, so we're just going to go through some quick stretches. We're going to go cross body shoulder stretch. We'll throw a side lean in there because we can. So that trail leg is just straight while I lean. Doesn't matter which arm goes with which side lean. Switch sides. I usually go so I'm stretching the same shoulder as the trail leg. Find our door frame. For our door frame stretch, if you don't have an accessible door frame, remember it's the handcuff stretch. So just grabbing the wrist, shoulders back and down, nice front chest. Door frame, we're twisting through the top. Hand is planted on door frame, arm is straight. Feeling the stretch in my chest and my shoulders. Looking down, or neutral, I have to look down on these ones. Switch sides. Twisting to the top. My arm is just on the door, just like that. The door frame, it's hard to see, I know. If you have a chair, I'm just going to sit right here. We're going to sit down on the edge of our chair, cross our left leg over our right, and have that slight lean forward, feeling it in the side of the hip there. I can tell you a chair works a lot better than this. I have to really lean forward to get that stretch. Switch sides. Like you're stretching that muscle that you used in that first group, that glute med, so heavily. All right, then we'll stand up. We'll do our upper trap neck stretches. We haven't done those in a while. We'll go right ear to right shoulder without elevating the right shoulder. Left arm, I'm just going to grab behind my back. We're going to go right ear to right shoulder without elevating that shoulder, and I'm going to grab again that right arm behind my back this time. Left ear to left shoulder. I said right ear, but it's left ear to left shoulder without elevating that shoulder. Grab the right arm. All right, now we're going to look all the way up. All the way down. Shoulders in neutral position. We're going to look all the way to the left. All the way to the right. Shake it all out. And that is our workout today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you don't have those resistance loops, another workout might be better for you. You know, we have a whole YouTube library full of them. If you did like it, let me know. I'd be happy to, you know, use some different equipment, teach you some, you know, new moves that you could be doing. I just wanted to mix things up a little bit. But I hope you guys had a good one, and I will see you next time.